Imagine this, a bank manager determined to avoid any conflict refuses service to a man simply because of the hat he's wearing, a hat that, unbeknownst to her, belongs to one of the most powerful figures on the planet. What happens next leaves an entire town and even the bank manager herself speechless. Before we dive into this incredible story, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and leave a comment below if you believe that first impressions can sometimes be dangerously misleading. It was 11:45 a.m. at First Horizon Bank in Waco, Texas, a typical weekday filled with the clink of coffee cups, the rustle of paperwork, and the friendly nods exchanged by regular customers. Brenda Hartwell, a seasoned bank manager with over 2 decades of experience, was at the helm. Known for her no-nonsense attitude and strict adherence to bank policies, Brenda prided herself on keeping things orderly. Today, as Brenda reviewed a stack of loan applications, the soft creak of the entrance door drew her attention. In walked a man who immediately caught her eye. He was a little over 6 feet tall, wearing a bright red baseball cap emblazoned with the words, "Make America Great Again." His casual attire and unassuming briefcase clashed with the businesslike environment of the bank. For Brenda, that hat was more than just a piece of fabric. It represented division and past conflicts that she'd witnessed all too often. Determined not to repeat a recent heated argument over political differences, she exchanged a brief look with her assistant manager, Diane. In a hushed tone, Brenda muttered, "Watch this guy. We can't risk any trouble." When it was finally his turn, the man approached Brenda's desk with a polite nod. "Good afternoon," he said softly. "I need to make a withdrawal from my account." Brenda, scanning his documents with a skeptical eye, quickly noticed that his name wasn't familiar, and all she could think about was that cap. After a moment of tense silence, she replied curtly, "I'm sorry, but we won't be able to process your request today." The man blinked, visibly taken aback. "Excuse me, what do you mean?" Brenda's tone remained firm. "We reserve the right to refuse service if we feel it's warranted." A murmur rippled through the bank. Some customers nodded in agreement while others exchanged puzzled looks. The man's calm expression never wavered. Instead, his voice sharpened as he asked, "I'd like to understand what you mean by warranted." "I haven't done anything wrong." Brenda hesitated, her face tightening with the memory of past conflicts. "I don't want to argue," she said quietly. "If you like, you can visit another branch." Without another word, the man gathered his documents, adjusted his cap, and walked out. The heavy glass door closed with a soft thud, and for a moment the entire bank seemed to hold its breath. If you're finding this story as intriguing as we are, make sure to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think personal biases can ever be set aside in a professional setting? And if you haven't already, subscribe for more real-life stories that challenge our perceptions. After the man left, Brenda tried to refocus on her work, but whispers and murmurs spread quickly among customers and staff. Some said it was a justified decision. Others wondered if it was an overreaction. Brenda, however, couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that clung to her as she typed away at her computer. That afternoon, as the bank slowly returned to its normal rhythm, Brenda convinced herself that the incident was over. She reassured herself that such customers, those who wore a controversial hat, rarely returned. Yet, deep inside, she couldn't forget the man's calm demeanor. He hadn't raised his voice or created a scene. Instead, he had left silently, almost deliberately. The following morning, as the sun cast a warm glow on the bank's exterior, Brenda arrived early for her routine. Sipping her coffee, she told herself, "It's just another Thursday. He won't be back." But at precisely 10:30 a.m., the bank door swung open once again. This time, the same man returned, and he wasn't alone. 2 sharply dressed men in business suits accompanied him. The familiar red cap was still on, but now his posture was different, more purposeful, almost commanding. A hushed silence fell over the bank as the man walked straight to Brenda's desk. In that moment, a whisper passed among the onlookers. One customer, an older gentleman, murmured, "Could that really be—" Diane leaned in close to Brenda and whispered, "That's Elon Musk, the Tesla guy, the SpaceX billionaire." Brenda's heart raced. For a moment she couldn't believe it. The man she had dismissed with a curt refusal was none other than Elon Musk, a figure known worldwide for his innovations and, yes, for stirring up controversies himself. Elon stopped at Brenda's desk and slowly removed his cap, revealing the face that had graced countless headlines. His gaze met Brenda's, and the room grew even quieter. "Good morning, Brenda," he said in a calm, measured tone. "I'd like to have a word." Brenda's throat tightened as she struggled to maintain her professional composure. Before she could muster a response, Elon continued, "Yesterday I came into your bank as a customer and you refused to serve me, not because of any issue with my account, but based on your assumption about me." He set his cap down on the desk, the bold letters facing outward. "This hat," he explained, "is just fabric and thread, yet to some it's become a symbol that can either unite or divide. Your decision was made in haste, based on an assumption, and that hurts more than you might realize." Brenda's face flushed with a mix of shame and disbelief. The entire room was watching, and she felt the weight of every gaze upon her. Elon's words were gentle but carried an undeniable gravity. "I'm not here to create a scene," he added softly. "I'm here to remind you, and everyone in this room, that we all have the power to judge others, but with that power comes responsibility." The silence in the bank was almost tangible. Brenda could barely meet Elon's eyes as he spoke. "Every action we take sends a message," he said. "Yesterday, the message I received was that I didn't belong here, and I imagine I'm not the first person to feel that way in this bank." He then turned to address the entire room. "What would you do if someone walked in wearing something you didn't agree with? Would you judge them solely by their appearance? Or would you take the time to understand who they are?" A young teller named Lauren, standing near the back, hesitantly raised her hand. Elon approached her gently. "Lauren, what do you do when you face judgment? Do you let it define your day, or do you look beyond it?" Lauren stammered. I try to treat everyone the same, no matter what they wear." Elon nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "That's a good answer. It's easier said than done, isn't it?" His calm demeanor softened the harshness of the day's events, inviting everyone to reflect on their own biases. Then, in a moment that would change everything, Elon reached into his briefcase. He pulled out a sleek folder and, with deliberate care, removed a single piece of paper. "This," he announced, "is a donation pledge of $500,000 to the Waco Community Relief Fund." Gasps filled the room. Brenda's hands trembled as she accepted the document. Elon continued, "I know that yesterday's incident wasn't about me personally. It was about the assumptions we make every day. This donation is a reminder that we have the power to make a positive change, regardless of our differences. If you're moved by this story of transformation and accountability, please hit that like button and leave a comment below on how a single act of humility can spark change. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that challenge us to grow and think deeper." As Elon turned to leave, the atmosphere in the bank shifted dramatically. The staff and customers exchanged quiet, reflective glances. In the days that followed, the incident became the talk of Waco. Social media erupted with headlines like "Elon Musk calls out bias at local bank" and "When assumptions backfire, a lesson in empathy." Local news outlets picked up the story. Customers who had witnessed the exchange shared their thoughts online. Some defended Brenda, while many others commended Elon for his measured response and transformative act. The Waco Community Relief Fund received an influx of support, donations, and renewed hope. At the bank, Brenda found herself at the center of a conversation about accountability and personal growth. An elderly customer named Mr. Hargrove approached her one afternoon, saying softly, "We all make mistakes, Brenda. It's what we do next that counts." Those words struck a chord with her, inspiring a series of changes. Brenda reached out to the Relief Fund and even organized staff workshops on diversity and inclusion, determined to ensure that no customer would ever feel excluded again. Over time, the incident evolved into a powerful case study, a reminder that leadership means not only enforcing rules, but also setting an example of empathy and openness. The story of that fateful day in Waco sparked town hall meetings, classroom discussions, and a national conversation about the dangers of assumptions and the strength of second chances. For Brenda, the experience was transformative. Though it had begun as a moment of discomfort and judgment, it ultimately became a catalyst for change, both personally and within her community. As the narrative spread, people everywhere began questioning their own biases and recognizing the importance of looking beyond appearances. So, what do you think? Was this incident just another mishap, or is it a wake-up call for how we treat one another in everyday life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this story inspiring, hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful stories of transformation and growth. Remember, sometimes the most unexpected moments can spark the change we all need. Thank you for watching, and remember, every small act of kindness and understanding has the power to change lives.